Here we have the county map of Indiana, and what I've done here is I've selected individual counties, the ones that I think are called or should be called Southern Indiana, those that are very much part of Central Indiana, and then the counties that are part of Northern Indiana. This is just a simple deal where I just went over to the map, I selected, and then did the polygon, and I just essentially selected all of them and then created from there a new layer by coming over to the Indiana counties, hitting selection, and then choosing the one that's not shown here, the make layer from selected features, and creating a new layer. So that's how I created these layers. Now what we need to do though is to dissolve, or essentially create one polygon amongst all these individual polygons. And to do that, we'll just do a simple dissolve. And to show you what I mean, I've already went ahead and I've done Southern Indiana and Central Indiana. So if I go ahead and take out previous ones that showed the counties, you can see how now we have an aggregate. Essentially all of them have, the lines have been removed, the individual county lines, and now we have one solid polygon. So essentially I dissolved those counties into one individual region. Like I said, it's a very simple process, and to show you how to do it, the input here, this dissolve, the input would be the Northern Indiana counties. The output, to keep it consistent, I'm going to call it northern_in_dissolve. In this case, just leave everything else as is. I'm just going to just make it sure to just kind of emphasize how simple this particular type of dissolve is. I'm just dissolving based on geography. So just a simple dissolve, click on run, and the result is the Northern Indiana counties have been dissolved into one polygon. So we have those 92 counties of Indiana that have been aggregated into 1, 2, 3 larger regions. Now I'm going to show another example of a dissolve, but this time not based on an adjacent geography like the previous example that used the counties that were next to each other and lumped them in to a bigger group, whether it be Northern Indiana, Southern Indiana, or Central Indiana. In this case, I'm doing the dissolve based on a particular field within the attribute table. So here we have the trails that is produced by the city of Indianapolis, and this data set is constantly being updated. So these, essentially what happens is, if we go ahead and look at the table, is as the new trails, the new parts are added, someone comes in, adds another little line segment, and so what ends up happening is there's 1,243 individual lines in this particular trails layer. However, there's only about 19 trails. As far as the trail's name. So essentially what happens is someone has drawn this and then they stop and they draw a new line. And so it might be the same trail, but there's many lines that are drawn that make up that one trail. So what we're going to do is we go over here to the name column, and if I can, you can see there's a variety of names, but what I'm going to do is sort ascending, and you notice there's pretty much the same names. There's, Cultural Trail, Downtown, and so what's happened is each of these individual rows are an individual line segment. And to show you what I mean, I'm going to highlight a few of these that are in the Eagle Trail, so see where those are, and see, you can see how each of those individual lines together form this one particular line, this one particular trail. So what we're going to do here is we need to dissolve based on, in this case, the name. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll click off the table, clear, put in our input features, is obviously the trails. Trails dissolve is a good name. And here with dissolve field, we're going to go down and choose name. And the new feature class has been added, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the attribute table. And here we can see the dissolve table. Now we only have, in this case, 24 records. There's a few of them, like unknown and unnamed, and then there's bike lane, and then there's this one that has no value or no name here. So there's some of them that shouldn't be included, but nonetheless, we've gone from 1,240 some lines to now just 24 smaller lines. So we dissolved, in this case, the field based on its name of the particular trail.